It is winter, 1675. All of Europe whispers the same name, Turenne. After the astonishing victory at Turckheim, where he crushed two imperial armies in a single masterstroke, the French general has become a living legend. In the courts of Versailles, King Louis XIV reads aloud Turenne's own letter, predicting every move of his enemies before the battle even began. The salons and taverns of Europe speak of him with reverence, a man of impossible foresight, a savant of war. When Turenne returns home, the streets of France are filled with celebration. People line the roads to see him pass. Nobles, priests, and peasants alike. Paris has never seen such joy. But beneath the cheers, Turenne, now in his 60s, feels the weight of years. He dreams only of rest, of quiet reflection, of peace. Yet peace is never the fate of soldiers. Across the Rhine, the Holy Roman Empire sharpens its swords. Spain rallies once more, and the Netherlands call for vengeance. Every crown of Europe prepares for a new campaign. And at its center stands Emperor Leopold, who seeks a commander worthy to avenge the humiliation of Turckheim. He finds him in the Italian genius Raimondo Montecuccoli, a man who, like Turenne, rose from humble beginnings to command the greatest armies of the age. Two masters of war, one French, one imperial, now prepare to face each other for the last time. In May of 1675, Turenne once again rides to war. He leaves Paris behind, blessed by the Sun King himself, and rides east to Alsace, to the same fields where he achieved his greatest triumph. Montecuccoli, marching through the Black Forest, commands 30,000 men. Turenne can muster barely 20,000, hungry, cold, but faithful. For weeks, the two armies dance a deadly waltz along the Rhine. Montecuccoli feints north, crosses rivers, retreats, crosses again, each move designed to lure Turenne into a trap. But Turenne is not a man easily deceived. He anticipates every step, every bluff, and every ambush. It becomes a chess game of armies, and Turenne is always one move ahead. By June, the weather turns foul. The Rhine floods. The French camps are soaked in endless rain. Supplies run low. Illness spreads. In the mud and marshes, the soldiers grow restless. Some grumble, wondering if their old commander has finally lost his touch. But the veterans silence them. He is our father, they say. Turenne always knows. Even Montecuccoli admits defeat in the war of maneuver. Every time he prepares a crossing, Turenne is there waiting. Every trap is countered, every move anticipated. But Turenne's position is growing desperate. Cut off from France, starving, his army faces ruin if he cannot break the stalemate. Then, fate sends him a sign. A local shepherd shows Turenne a secret ford across the Wrench River, hidden by thick woods, only 500 paces from the imperial camp. It is a chance so dangerous, yet so brilliant, only Turenne would dare attempt it. Under cover of darkness, he orders his engineers to build a bridge. For 3 nights, his men labor in silence. Axes strike, ropes tighten, wood groans, but not a single gun is fired. Imperials never suspect a thing. When the French cross the Wrench at last, Montecuccoli wakes to find himself trapped between the river and Turenne's advancing army. He is surrounded. Has no choice but to fight. The morning of July 27, 1675, Turenne rises before dawn. The mists cling to the valley as he mounts his horse. He has spent the night scouting the enemy positions himself, and he has found the weakness. Montecuccoli's left flank is exposed. Through a narrow pass lies the heart of the imperial camp. Turenne returns to his officers, his eyes shining with quiet confidence. "It is done," he says. "They cannot escape me. I shall now reap the fruit of this fatiguing campaign." He writes to King Louis XIV, "Tomorrow I shall write again after my victory." The French army forms its line. 50,000 men on both sides prepare for battle. Cannons rumble, muskets crackle in the distance. Turenne rides forward with his Irish companion, the Duke of Hamilton. Beside them is his chief of artillery, Armand de Saint Hilaire, wearing a bright red cloak. They move closer to the guns, inspecting positions. Hamilton warns, "You are too exposed, my lord." Turenne smiles. "I will do as you say, for I do not want to die today." He turns his horse, just as Saint Hilaire points toward the enemy, his arm outstretched. "Are you satisfied with the placement of the guns, my lord?" A single cannon roars. Ball screams through the air. It shatters St. Hilaire's arm and strikes Turenne through the chest. The old general sways once, then falls from his horse. I did not want to die today. Those are his final words. The French army forms its line. 50,000 men on both sides prepare for battle. Cannons rumble. Muskets crackle in the distance. Turenne rides forward with his Irish companion, the Duke of Hamilton. Beside them is his chief of artillery, Armand de St. Hilaire, wearing a bright red cloak. They move closer to the guns, inspecting positions. Hamilton warns, "You are too exposed, my lord." Turenne smiles. "I will do as you say, for I do not want to die today." He turns his horse, just as St. Hilaire points toward the enemy, his arm outstretched. "Are you satisfied with the placement of the guns, my lord?" Single cannon roars. A ball screams through the air. It shatters St. Hilaire's arm and strikes Turenne through the chest. The old general sways once, then falls from his horse. I did not want to die today. Those are his final words. The French army forms its line. 50,000 men on both sides prepare for battle. Cannons rumble. Muskets crackle in the distance. Turenne rides forward with his Irish companion, the Duke of Hamilton. Beside them is his chief of artillery, Armand de St. Hilaire, wearing a bright red cloak. They move closer to the guns, inspecting positions. Hamilton warns, "You are too exposed, my lord." Turenne smiles. "I will do as you say, for I do not want to die today." He turns his horse, just as St. Hilaire points toward the enemy, his arm outstretched. "Are you satisfied with the placement of the guns, my lord?" A single cannon roars. Ball screams through the air. It shatters St. Hilaire's arm and strikes Turenne through the chest. The old general sways once, and falls from his horse. I did not want to die today. Those are his final words. The French officers rush to him. His nephew, the Viscount de Turenne, kneels by his side. All around, men lower their weapons in shock. The battle pauses as if the world itself has stopped. Across the valley, Montecuccoli rides along his own lines. A cannonball kills his horse, survives barely, and continues the fight, unaware that his rival has fallen. But when word reaches him, he halts. He removes his helmet, bows his head, and says softly, "Today died a man who did honor to mankind." On the French side, grief spreads like wildfire. The soldiers weep openly. Their father, their protector, is gone. Discipline fades. Officers argue over command, unable to act. The army withdraws in silence. Back in Versailles, when the news reaches the king, Louis XIV himself weeps. He orders the nation into mourning. France has lost its greatest general, and perhaps the greatest soldier in all of Europe. The battlefield of Salzbach grows quiet once more. The cannons are silent. Mist drifts over the Rhine, and in that silence lies the end of an era, the death of the last great knight of the 17th century. He was a man of faith, of genius, and of loyalty. He gave his life not in defeat, but in mastery at the very moment of victory. This was the death of Turenne. You've been watching Pistoria, where history lives again. If you are moved by this story of courage and destiny, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this documentary, because every legend deserves to be remembered.